Okay, we're live.
Great. Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. This is the Node.js user feedback team meeting. We're a member of the Node.js community committee, and we're focused on helping connect end users to the Node.js project in all its capacities, whether that's the ComCom, or whether that's providing feedback to our technical members, the technical steering committee. So today we're having our team meeting, and next month we're going to have our first open public user session. So we're going to take our meeting every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, and use that cadence to share with the broader audience, and elicit feedback around Node.js. Specifically, we have been working with the benchmarking working group, so the working group inside of the Node.js project that is responsible for handling benchmarking and maintaining our benchmarks that you can find at benchmark.nodejs.org, and providing the context to our technical collaborators and the end user community about the ongoing performance and profile of the Node.js runtime. So let me go ahead and share my screen and get the agenda up in front of us. Actually, but before I do that, let me go ahead and take roll. So Mihai has agreed to take notes today, so I really appreciate that. I'm Dan Shaw, and I'll go around the Zoom list here and introduce the other folks. So we're joined by Tierney Siren.
Hi there. I was just
and Joel Chip from Walmart.
Hey there.
And Mihai Inai Petrosano.
Yeah, hello.
Awesome. All right, let me get the agenda up, and we'll start going through the items today. All right. Great. So today's agenda got a bunch of topics that we're working through, and go ahead and start with the our key initiatives. So we've been running the benchmarking working group survey. It's one of the sort of kickoff projects that started this initiative. The benchmarking working group had reached out to the community committee for help doing a survey, and the user feedback initiative took that, and we've had quite a few submissions. I think we're approaching 150, 160 on that. And it's been very productive. We are almost done with that. So we have, 5 more days. Last week I sent out the update and reminder. Tierney, you had said that you wanted to take the next round of promotion there. So can you take an action following this meeting, I guess, to send out the last hurrah and remind folks that the last day to submit feedback in the benchmarking working group survey will be January 31st, Wednesday, January 31st.
You can absolutely do that. Probably do it during the meeting.
Great.
One quick question over here. Is any way to promote this also on media, like a retweet or something on Twitter account?
So Turner's going to take this to Twitter. There's there is a good point that we're primarily using Twitter as the broadcast medium.
I'm happy to move that to LinkedIn as well, if that helps, because I know that's more of the target audience for that, maybe. So hitting both of those is fine.
That'd be great.
I mean, I'm just asking because, of course, around 200, it's a good number, so it's pretty representative. That's the reason I'm asking. So
that's great. Yep. Yeah. So if we can push that out to LinkedIn too, that'd be fantastic. Since we're at the final countdown, I don't know that a medium post or something broader is appropriate at this time. Seems a bit much and probably too much to ask of you, Tierney.
Yeah, especially in 4 days.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's spread it around. I'll try to post on Facebook as well, and once Tierney's tweets and LinkedIn posts go live, why don't you drop the link into the meeting agenda, and we'll pile on and retweet and amplify it.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right, so we're continuing to do outreach, looking for feedback on reaching out to end users, engaging folks that are participating. Thank you, Joel, for joining us and representing the broader community. I want to share a bit of sort of process frustration around doing the outreach. We have a spreadsheet that we're putting names into, and I think we need to try to explore something a little bit more online, but not necessarily through GitHub. That requires everyone to join GitHub and submit an issue, and it doesn't seem like an area where the end users that are engaging really want to dive in, but is a mailing list something that we would like to engage with? My email is just such a disaster that having yet another email channel is not necessarily going to be a more effective tool where folks are going to get rapid feedback from me.
Is this for people of the group to engage with each other, or is this for something else?
This is for end users. So, okay. Individuals like Joel and folks that are using Node, but aren't necessarily plugged into the Node.js project. And to be plugged in, you're typically spending time and engaging in the project GitHub. And I think eventually, as folks get active, they're gonna we're gonna want them to be on GitHub. That's just how we operate. But since the user feedback initiative is a bridge out to end users, I think we need to go to end users, and so that means in my mind, going off GitHub and providing easy on ramps.
Yeah, that's hard, because I mean, a mailing list is the best thing that we have right now, and I don't know if there actually is a better medium that's is fitted or that is as universal it doesn't have the kind of limitations that GitHub does. I totally open to suggestions, though. I'm not sure on other things.
Would you mind if I put you on the spot and ask for your thoughts on this?
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And am I mispronouncing your name?
Um, that's fine. My name is Joel. So.
Joel. Oh, sorry. Joel.
Yeah, we've met before actually.
Right on.
You were giving a Node.js training at PayPal about like 4 or 5 years ago, and so I was.
Oh, right on. Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay, so I was in the training for 3 days while you were giving the training.
That's awesome.
I don't have my video turned on, but you might recognize me.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So sorry, what was the question again?
So, in doing outreach to individuals who are end users and are not necessarily on GitHub all the time. So most of the activity and actions that we take in the Node.js project are, for better or for worse, plugged into GitHub. One of the challenges that we've experienced with the community committee is, we're doing a lot of the community and outreach actions and activities, engaging the broader community around Node.js, and that makes a little less sense than when we're talking about and aligning on technical projects. Joel is just wondering, if you had any suggestions on, how we might be able to engage better with you and your team, through tools that are going to be easier to engage with.
Right. So currently, I think the only way for us to get any kind of a communication channel with the Node.js, the core team or the Node.js development is going to GitHub, and that is the only channel that I know of at the moment, and obviously and Twitter. So I mean, I follow all the Node.js developers, core members, and you on Twitter, and I look at Twitter every day. So any kind of Node.js that comes on Twitter, I would spend a few minutes to look at it to see what's going on, and particularly in things like if there's any security related things or any improvement updates to performance, I would look at them the first thing. And so I think Twitter has been working out well, but typically only for people like me who has a keen interest in anything happening in Node.js. But for the rest of the developers at Walmart Labs, most of them they take news from me on our internal Slack.
Because you're plugged into those channels, right? Right.
Yeah.
Right on.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe like Slack or something like Gitter chat rooms, but I know that people don't actively join those things, and I mean then the next thing is probably email, but like you said, Dan, like email is these days like I mean I'm looking at my company email. I have 30,000 unread emails.
Exactly. And goodness, if you start following a bunch of the or plugging into the Node.js projects, you're dead. It's just terrible.
Yeah. So I so far the most effective tool and the medium for me is to communicate with external developers and like to channel to make the connection between external and our internal developer community is actually GitHub. We have our internal GitHub, we have our internal Slack, and a couple of us is actively monitoring all the external channels, and anything that's interesting we immediately relay it back to our internal community.
That's great. Well, right on. So, one thing, if you aren't aware, we have begun officially embracing in the community committee the Node Slackers Slack, and many of us are active there. I'd like to begin plugging in there a bit more. So we'll try to see if that is a forum that folks will use. Tierney, do you know off the top of your head the invite link for Node Slackers?
Nodeslackers.com.
Nodeslackers.com. All right.
Okay.
So maybe we
over here. So sorry, one suggestion over here. So since we are talking about this, is probably not a good idea to put in the same announce. We are trying to get more surveys. Also to put, hey, in February we'll have this. Can you guys join? I mean, if we are tweeting this thing, right? Can we put it together? I mean, it's just a suggestion.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we have the survey, and we have this survey is going to be by the end of January, right? And right. We can also put something like, hey guys, on February we will have this. How about join?
I love it. That'd be fantastic.
I mean, it's mostly a question for Tierney. I mean, if it's possible to tweet that.
I already tweeted it. Was it an edit to what I was going to do already? I don't quite understand. Sorry.
So what I was having in my mind is to tweet the thing on February. We'll have the user open session.
Gotcha. So if we were to do that, I'd want to make sure there was a way for people to engage with it. So if they wanted to join, how would they join? Is there a way that I can connect them to that?
The agenda link.
Okay. Is that in the EU enterprise? Which group is it? It's user feedback initiative. It's in here.
User feedback initiative, and that is issue number 27.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. So I can also add that as a reply to the original tweet about benchmarking. So then people also see it that way as well. Cool. Yes.
Yep. Thank you.
Mihai, have you joined the Slack channel?
Not yet. I'll do that.
That'd be great. And when you join, it'd be fantastic if you could help broadcast some of those items out to folks there.
Okay, excellent. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Sorry, what was the Slack URL again? Is it nodeslacker.com?
Slackers plural. I can put it in the chat.
Okay.
Zoom chat here.
There
you go.
Oh, Slackers.
Yeah, S, plural.
Okay, got it.
That's strange. It's a strange name.
Yes.
I mean, if you are active, how can you be a slacker?
All right. So, Enterprise Advisor Group, we're looking at a quarterly cadence, and we have an invite going out, and going to propose a on-site meeting. I expect that to go up over the next week or so, with invites out into community committee, TSC, and everybody to come engage and learn how our large installs of Node.js are being used, and provide direct feedback from those individuals, and connect them with the individuals representing the ComCom and the TSC. So
go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So we can expect over the next couple of weeks the initial steps of organizing the next meeting. So that's been slow, and I think the cadence will be fairly lengthy. So kind of a quarterly cadence, just because of the individuals that are involved, and the cat herding involved in getting everybody in that group set up, and making sure that that the context of what's happening is being broadcast to everyone in the project.
Is there a planned range for when that on site will be?
I think at this point it's probably going to be the beginning of March.
Okay.
Right. Just the amount of trying to get everything fit up. It's going to take weeks to agenda bash and find a time that folks can do that. So at a high level, I'm thinking that it's going to be the first couple of weeks of March that we do that, and have some ideas around when we could get together in May as well. So that's looking at the rough sketch of when those would land.
Sure, sounds good.
Oh, all right. So thanks, Mihai. It's great to have you on as a full team member. Landed the PR around that, and thank you, Tierney, for going through and setting up everything. Mihai should be a full member, added to the user feedback team. I checked that, and everything's looking good. So it's been great having you involved with this project since its inception, Mihai, and really appreciate all that you do to keep this moving forward.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
So Michael Dawson requested in the team meeting here that we add a meeting template. Tierney, when I was reviewing this request, I saw that you had added templates for the community committee. Can you share a little bit of context about what the PR templates are trying to achieve?
Sorry, let me pull this up. Too many things going at once.
Sure.
What issue is it?
So it's the current agenda.
Oh, okay. Yes, I see. It's the tool that Michael built. Yeah. Right. So largely, this has been done manually, very tediously. With real pain. Either you copy and paste an old one, or you use the Make Node meeting tool, which got pulled into the foundation recently. Mm-hmm. And it's a pain to maintain and use. So my understanding is that this tool is a kind of automated version of that'll just submit meetings create the issue for the next meeting automatically. So the process was pretty easy for the most part. I just looked at there's 4 different types of files, and I looked at each of the files of a different group and just kind of copied that and replaced the context for the community committee. It was pretty lightweight.
Okay.
It took me about 20 minutes. So yeah, it's not too bad. The only thing is with onboarding, you have to make sure that this is a part of the process is updating the docs, because I guess we have observers at the community committee, but there is observers for this as well. Mm-hmm. So you will need to update that when you want new observers to be added, or whatever. If you want members, members are automated by team mention. So that doesn't need to be managed as much. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Just copy paste.
Great. Does anyone want to take the creating that PR to land that?
I can do that. I'll do that.
Thank you, Mihai. So then, how do we actually use that, Tierney? Have you used that?
You don't.
You don't. Okay.
It just uses itself. It's automated from what I can tell. Yeah. That's my under. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So as far as I can tell, it just creates the thing. The issue creates the minute stock itself, and then there's something else it does automatically. Yeah, it's very nice tooling for us.
Cool.
It reduces
Okay.
the needs a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely been a cumbersome
Yes.
part of figuring out how to do that. And honestly, as a programmer, it's like, all right, how do I automate this? So Michael Dawson has thankfully automated this, and I look forward to seeing how that works. Awesome. Thank you, Mihai, for taking the pass there at landing that. And Tierney, would you if Mihai has any questions, would you be available to help?
Yeah, I was going to offer. Yeah. If you have anything, just feel free to ping me on GitHub or Twitter or whatever.
Okay, thanks a lot. Probably I'll need it definitely. So
okay.
Thank you.
Yep. No worries.
All right. So taking user feedback into the real world. So in that story of hey, we're going to go and do user feedback. One of the first areas was the surveys, and we set up the public meetings through this channel. And early on, we really were excited about sort of taking this into meet space and getting feedback in person, and also doing outreach. So folks that are in the community are aware of some of the attach points that they can engage with this. So in February at Index 2018. IBM doesn't like to attach their name, I guess, to this thing, but it is an IBM organized event intended to be, for the community by the community. So interesting. I plan on attending. This is right in San Francisco, so easy for me to attend. And if you kind of follow the two items here, you'll be able to see the event overview. Joel, are you planning on coming to this event by any chance? Is this on your radar?
What? Sorry, I'm not aware of this event.
Index 2018. It's a event that IBM's putting on. Targeting open developer community. It is February 20th through 22nd at Moscone Center.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. I am actually local in around San Francisco, so
right on.
Yeah, so thank you.
I believe if you go to the issue, we might be able to get you free access if you're participating as part. I believe. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure of that, but if you're participating in part of this part of it, that might be the case.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you.
Yep. Great. So yeah, it'd be fantastic, Joel, if you could join and maybe bring a couple folks from the team. Be good to have folks that that already have some context about what we're doing, the user feedback initiative. This will be the first conversation. This will be the first public conversation that we have. So we'll be experimenting with what works, and then the additional challenge, I guess, is the best way to articulate it. The additional challenge that we will have, and this has been a challenge for us for quite some time in the Node.js project, will be taking those real world experience and bringing that back. So I see that as being one of the single biggest challenges for us in doing these in-person meetings is capturing the context of what happened at the meeting, bringing them back into essentially GitHub space, where we catalog and capture the context of what's going on in the project. and then share that back to the rest of the community. Tierney, would you think that this would be an appropriate thing to request funds from admin?
I mean, yes, for sure.
Right.
Just getting more definition from IBM, like based around what I said earlier. Is it foundation members that are, because I know I'm coming to it to help engage with this, organizing what's happening there, like what's happening in this issue. But I don't know to what extent. So getting a little bit more clarification from Michael would be helpful, just on that and what the fund needs would be. But yes, absolutely.
So, Mihai, if you, if you're available during this time, you would like to come join this session. There is a mechanism in the project to allocate funds for project events like this. So I'm sure we can get the tickets, but it would be Zoom support for the travel and accommodation. So if you're interested and available on February 20th through 22nd, and you would like travel assistance, I can help find and put the request into the admin repo.
Yeah, so give me a couple of days because I would love to do that. But since my wife will fly in that period to Russia, I will be with my boys at home, and I'll be in charge 100%. But since it's only 2 days, it might be a possibility. Let me just give me a couple of days. Definitely, I'd love to come.
Awesome. It'd be fantastic to have you join us. Back to. All right.
Wait,
so
sorry. So for to go to that Node.js meeting, we have to be registered for the Index conference.
I believe so.
Okay, I'll look into it. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Joel. Yeah, so that is going to be the index is going to be taking place inside of Moscone. So I imagine that you'll have to be registered to do that. But yeah, like Trini said, I don't think you should have to pay. We can get you a pass.
Okay, I'll try. Thank you.
Right on. Okay, so last but not least, the February 9th, we're going to have our first public user feedback meeting. There's some great context in the issue that Michael Dawson shared. So, since the benchmarking working group will not have had time to digest the results of the survey, Michael wanted to limit as much of the sort of results sharing and focus on why the questions were asked and discussion around what we're benchmarking, what we're trying to accomplish in benchmarking, and the direction, the potential directions that we're looking for, and articulate what's going on and try to get some feedback on what folks needs are around benchmarking and how folks are leveraging their awareness around benchmarking and all the performance gains that we're seeing through the work of project members, and we've actually seen a ton of improvement over the last 6 months or so JavaScript optimizations that the the V8 team have been putting into place. So really excited about sharing this. We'll be doing this through our this same channel. So we'll be broadcasting and inviting attendees in through Zoom and broadcasting on to YouTube. Joel, will you be able to join us for this session to discuss benchmarking?
When is it?
It is February 9th during this time, so 2 weeks from today.
So it's going to be a remote video session, like
remote,
okay.
like we are today, but we're going to have representatives from the benchmarking working group sharing lightweight presentation, and then we really want much more than me running my mouth, you providing feedback and engaging members of our user community.
Yeah, I'd love to join that, and I look forward to it.
Awesome, great,
thank you.
All right, well, that's it for today's agenda. Any closing thoughts today?
Not really. I received an email regarding authentication. If you guys, the double authentication on GitHub. Are you aware about that?
Yes, so I have two-factor authentication set up, and I think that is a strong recommendation, if not a formal requirement these days, for two-factor authentication. I recommend setting that up, and of the various two-factor authentications.
No, look, yeah, sorry. So looks like, yeah, on February 1st is going to be probably the last day or something like that. Yeah, I already did that. I mean,
okay.
I was just telling if you guys are aware about the two-factor authentication.
Great. Well, thanks for the heads up. And yeah, I have two-factor authentication turned on. And for anyone else who's on the fence on that, it's GitHub's two-factor authentication is pretty painless, so it works pretty well. Thanks for the heads up, Mia. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, Mihai. Thank you, Tierney, and thank you, Joel. Great to have you join us today. And we'll be back with our first public session in 2 weeks. So really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.